I remember when I was a kid, I used to love to play sports. I always loved to play soccer, basketball, karate. I loved to do all these different things. But one thing that would always get to me, and I thought it was a problem, was how nervous I would get before doing something. One of the big ones was cross-country running, because I knew I was fast and I knew I was like a good runner, but I would get so nervous at the start of a race because I didn't want people to beat me, or I wanted to compete, and I was always like so nervous. I'd get the same for a soccer game. I'd always get antsy. I'd be in the dressing room like just like shaking up and down and like just jumping around, like not necessarily jumping around in a bad way, but I thought it was bad how nervous I would feel before a sports game. And I remember I would ask my parents, why do I feel so nervous? How do I get away from it? And they would always tell me, it's not a bad thing that you're nervous. It's not a bad thing. Nerves are just reassurance that it shows you care about what you're doing. So it's a good thing. And I didn't really grasp what that meant and grasp what that was until I got a little bit older and really started to understand that the best things in life are always on the opposite side of fear. It's always something that you're scared to do, and the real progress in life comes from the work that you've been putting off and are afraid to do. And this is why your dreams and things that you want to accomplish, they should scare you, not necessarily in the way that it's gonna end your life and like be scary in a bad way, but they should kind of make you feel a little bit nervous about where you have to go and the person that you have to become to accomplish that thing. Whether it's talking to that new person or starting that YouTube channel, those things should make you nervous, because that's how you know you're on the right path and you're on the path to progress. Because progression in life requires us to live at that edge. It requires us to live out of that comfort zone and push a little further, because if we have our little circle and this is life that we know right now and everything around it is space, to actually enjoy life and experience life, we need to go out and experience all these things over here. And that only comes when we start to expand that circle and make it bigger and push beyond. And that is how progression happens. It happens from living at your edge. It happens from doing things that make you uncomfortable, but not pushing too far towards where it's an area that actually detriments to your life, and not staying in that zone where you have those comfortable little things, but you're willing to push that extra little bit and go do those different things, because that is actually how you enjoy life. I would always feel so much better after I ran the race or after I played that game, and it was so enjoyable, but it wasn't enjoyable unless I had those nerves before. If I wasn't nervous before a game, it wasn't going to be a fun game, because either I knew we were going to lose or I knew we were going to win. There wasn't that nervousness of competition. It's just like this in everyday life. If there's something that I want to do, and if I don't kind of feel a little bit uncomfortable before I go do it, I just kind of know that that thing is, it might be enjoyable, it might be pleasurable. It's not going to give me that progression towards where I want to go. And if you're anything like I am, progression is everything to you in life. Life is just about exploring new things and pushing yourself to where you want to get to. At least that's where it is for me. And that comes with constantly being willing to experience new things and go beyond where you are comfortable. I wasn't comfortable starting a YouTube channel, and that's why I started one and started to post content online and run a business doing that. It was the same when I started making music. I was not comfortable putting music online. I was not comfortable with doing vocals. I was not comfortable with a lot of things, but I did them, and my life improved because of it, because I was willing to live beyond that edge. If I never was willing to get through those uncomfortable feelings, all the beauty and all the joy that comes with pushing to that new place would have never come into my life, and everything would have just stayed here in this little area that I'm comfortable with. Yes, you still have some things that are nice, but you're not open to receiving all these new things that you don't even know are coming your way. But if you're willing to push that little bit further and keep going in life and keep pushing yourself towards something new and always living at your edge, trying to get somewhere where you haven't been before, then you're really gonna start actually living life. And that's the beauty of life. It lies in the unknown. It lies in the things that are exciting. That's the moments that really matter. And yes, it's kind of hard to get through those initial moments, especially with things that have made it so pleasure is easier to access than ever. From things like taking drugs and scrolling on social media and playing video games, it allows us to get those pleasurable moments without having to go through that uncomfortable feeling. And what that wires our brain to do is to become even more comfortable staying in our comfort zone. Because if things feel good here, it's even scarier to go out somewhere where we may lose some of that things or may feel uncomfortable. So naturally it's easier to stay here, and that's what our brain wants us to do. And that's why a lot of people in our modern day are afraid to take those chances and afraid to go there. But it's only once you get through that hard time that you can actually start experiencing things that you genuinely enjoy, instead of just doing things that bring you a little bit of pleasure but in the end just leave you feeling empty. And the thing is, once you start to expand your comfort zone and you're willing to put yourself out there, you become more comfortable with being uncomfortable. The things that used to scare you are now just things that you do in your everyday life, but then there's going to be more things that are uncomfortable towards you, and that is how you get towards your dreams. That's how you get towards where you want to go, because there's all these little micro steps that you have to go through and all these little things that you have to become comfortable with doing and adjust to. But once you get there, it's really not that bad. It feels scary for like 5 minutes or maybe a day or maybe 2, and once you get there, you're like, oh, I'm here, I haven't died, I'm still fine. Okay, let's move to the next thing. And then it's hard again, but then you eventually become comfortable there. And if you can keep pushing forward and forward and forward, eventually you're gonna get to where you wanna go. And things that you want in life require you to be uncomfortable. And if you have really big ambitions and they genuinely kind of make you a little bit nervous, to me that's a sign that you're on the right path, because you know that you're going to have to push that edge and go through those exciting things. And a lot of people are comfortable with just staying in their circle. They've expanded it to where they want to go and they're comfortable living there. But for me personally, and a lot of other people, we're not. We want to constantly keep progressing and constantly be pushing our boundaries, and that's where the joy in life comes. And the only way to get to where you want to go is to keep pushing that boundary and keep living at your edge. Now with that being said, my name is Colby Wallace. I'm an 18-year-old artist from Canada, currently traveling in Australia. And if you like videos like this and possibly want to listen to some of my original music, you should subscribe. I'm not sure what you're waiting for. It's a win for you, it's a win for me. And if you want to join our free community on how to break your phone addiction, there's a free link and a free course that will teach you how to do that in the description. My original music is also in the description. And with that being said, never stop creating, my friend, and I will see you in the next one. Goodbye.